All right. Welcome everyone to yet another week of Tabletop RPG 101. I am your game master and advisor, Beth the Exorcist. And this week we're going to be going over two topics again. First, we'll be covering children players, and then we'll be covering trap design. I have figured we can go over both of them since one of them is very relatively shorter than the other. So with that, let's go ahead and just hop right to it. As I pull out my notes here. So, first things first is navigating the playground, running games for children players. So running games for children under 13 brings unique challenges and rewards. To navigate this terrain effectively, understanding their psychology and ensuring a safe and ethical environment is paramount. And before I go any further, let me just make sure that all of my audio is correct here. Oh, there's actually one thing I do need to fix. Hold on. Cancel. Okay, here we go, and here we go. All right, there we go. Now it'll work. Okay. So let's go ahead and continue. So defining children players. In Game Master terms, children players are typically refers to individuals aged from 5 to 13 years of age. They encompass various developmental stages. At ages 5 through 7, the average human will begin to develop it. For the average human, 5 to 7 years is the stage in life where they will begin developing abstract reasoning, imagination, and social skills. For the average human at ages 8 through 10, they begin growing cognitive skills, increasing attention span, and exploring self-identity. And at ages 11 to 13, that is when the average human will begin entering adolescence, marked by heightened emotional sensitivity, peer pressure, and independent thinking. Understanding these stages is crucial for tailoring gameplay and interaction. And we're gonna continue this topic through segments of psychology here, a bit more in depth of psychology. So this is where you may want to take notes, as this is I'm gonna be using real life studies. So several key points regarding children's psychology impact how we approach role-playing experiences. One key point, thanks to Piaget's theory of cognitive development, is concrete thinking. Children, in other words, children tend to grasp things literally. So, in order to tackle running games for children using this knowledge, it is best to avoid overly complex rules or abstract concepts. The second key point, according to Kohlberg's theory of moral development, is, of course, moral development, where a kid's sense of right and wrong is still evolving, which means you will require clear boundaries and ethical guidance within the game. No, remember how I mentioned that children tend to grasp things literally, which means you got to also be clear with how you establish rules at your table. Third thing, we're gonna take something from Vygotsky's sociocultural theory, is imagination and play. For kids, play is essential for their development. So, with this in mind, foster creativity and encourage collaborative storytelling. In other words, when you are running games for children, you have to start treating this less like a game and more like a story, which is, of course, as I've mentioned time and time before, is the polar opposite of what you should be doing in normal games. In normal games, you should be treating the D&D or tabletops as a game rather than a story. Now, the final point, key point in child psychology, is Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. Role-playing provides opportunities for socialization, I can speak English today, and practicing empathy. But, however, you also must be mindful of potential conflicts or exclusion, as children will remember. So, before we move on to the next segment, does anybody have comments or questions so far? All right. So then we'll move on to the next segment. Let's see here. So the next segment, I've decided to call Safe and Ethical Practices. To create a healthy and responsible environment for young players, game masters must follow these essential rules. First, and this will always be rule number 1 when involving children, parental consent. Always obtain informed consent from parents or guardians before involving children in your games. And it has to be voice or face-to-face consent. this can't be over text, because you do not know who is typing behind the screen. Next is open communication. Maintain open communication with parents. Keep them informed about game content and potential topics covered, because you do not want something appearing in your game that a child's parent does not want them to learn about, or at least not learn about yet. Third is respectful interactions. Treat all players with respect and avoid any conduct that could be considered predatory or manipulative. In other words, act like the children that you are hosting are your own children. Not only are you teaching them, you're helping teaching them, but you're also raising them. Fourth rule is content sensitivity. Be mindful of content that might be inappropriate for their age, such as graphic violence, mature themes, or explicit language. The explicit language part is going to be difficult for some. As you know, I like to just use words like and stuff like that. So, but yeah, do keep that in mind. Censorship in tabletops is difficult, but this is where you get your chance to really test your creative skills. Finally is safety and comfort. Prioritize a safe and comfortable environment, allowing players to voice concerns and address any issues openly. Kids are very much less likely to speak up if you do not establish a line of open communication. The moment you open the line of communication, children will never keep their mouth shut about concerns. So if you're going to be running a game, make sure you let the children know constantly that if they're having problems, they should speak up. But do not push them into talking. Before we go on to the next segment, are there any other comments or questions or anything they'd like to add? Does not look like it, so we can move on. All right. So next segment is the benefits and deficits of having children in your games. First, running games for children offers numerous benefits. First benefit is creative development, which fosters imagination, problem-solving skills, and storytelling abilities. The second, social skills, encourages communication, teamwork, and empathy. Third is emotional growth. It provides a safe space to explore emotions and make decisions. And finally, it gives you a confidence boost. It builds self-confidence and a sense of accomplishment through gameplay. After all, children can be very, very difficult to manage. However, with the benefits, there are drawbacks. Some of the drawbacks that should be considered are, first of all, limited attention spans. Games need to be shorter and action-packed to keep them engaged. So, yes. So, notice how earlier I have stated treat games with that have children involved more as a story rather than a game. When you get to the game part, however, that is when you treat it only as a game and never as a story. Because they will love, because they're only going to be focused on one thing at a time. Either the game or the story. They're not going to be able to focus on both. Second thing is frustration tolerance. Be prepared for emotional outbursts and tantrums if things don't go their way. A Harvard study has actually come up with a statistic that 67% of children are more likely to have outbursts when things don't go their way. Third thing to be considerate of is rule understanding. Keep the rules simplified and give very clear explanations. Again, children are very simple and literal minded. They are not going to be able to understand rules if you go over it word for word. Instead, go over rules a little bit at a time. Kids are always going to be tactile learners, so treat them as a tactile learner. Teach them as you go. Finally is, of course, as I mentioned before, mature content management. Sensitive content needs careful filtering and alternative solutions. Now, this is where I'm going to ask for some interaction here. I'm going to call on each of you to tell me if you can come up with another benefit for running a game with children as your players. Starting with Bones. Come up here. Come on up. Okay, we'll don't know if Bones is there, so we'll take a range check. So, Lily, you're up.
The creativity. Always hands down the creativity. Because I promise you, when you put the right kid with the right developmental needs at the table, they not only learn their social skills with their peers, but they will get so creative with the interactions. They will absolutely surprise and wow you with their problem-solving skills in that manner.
Yes, they will. Children are like one of the ones that will always think outside the box. So,
listen,
yes.
I've never seen a greater interrogation than the time a group of 12-year-olds captured a goblin, dumped out a trash can, turned it upside down on top of him, had the half-orc barbarian sit on it, and the rest of the party just beats on it with sticks until he tells them everything that he knows. Those are the interactions we live for. I'm done.
Yes. All right. Go ahead and plushie yourself, please. Bones, since you're here, you good? You good?
Uh, I've made a grievous mistake.
Uh-oh.
Remember the last time we were hanging out and we were playing Lethal Company?
Yep.
I forgot to unmute you.
Oh my god.
I thought you was getting the stream ready.
Oh wait.
Professor Dragonsong has joined the respect.
Professor Dragon Song, hello. Thank you for following. Welcome to the Respect. How are you doing today? And enjoy your stay. Just don't eat all the cookies. I get the last cookie. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. So give me the cookie. But yeah. How'd you find us? Always enjoy figuring out, like, how newcomers find us here. But nevertheless, we are doing a class about tabletop RPGs, and of course, by the title, the first topic we're talking about is children players. So, Bones, go ahead and were you able to hear any of the benefits and deficits I mentioned?
I am so sorry, but my own stupidity.
All right, so then you can watch the VOD later then to catch you up on that. So until the next segment, go ahead and plushie yourself, please.
Oh!
All right. Let's see here. Doing all right. Think of a way that is helpful to teach kids about D&D. That was just messing around on D&D. Twitch and thoughts. Heck with it. Why not? Okay. Yeah. Well, we are about like halfway through the children player segments, but however, do stick around as we will be going over trap design, and also later on you will be able to watch the VOD later, as there were some very vital stuff that was discussed. So with that, Patrick, could you come up here and try and name a benefit for having children in your game?
I'd be more than happy to come up here for you. Right. So I see as a benefit is the excitement and joy on their faces. Coming here every day, come to a session, it just brings a joy as a DM to have them come, and I'll see that happiness from them.
Oh yeah. Just putting smile on a child's face will always make someone's day.
Yes. That's all I got for you, sir.
All right. So go ahead and plushie yourself, please. Now, starting with Lily, go ahead and name a deficit for having a kid or having children in your game.
Oh boy. Oh god. I don't want to say it's the ADHD, but I want to say it is the lack of focus and attention sometimes.
Yes.
You just cannot force it, and sometimes you just have to let them have fun. Otherwise, it's gonna be a battle.
Yes.
But there are ways times that you can gently nudge them back onto track, and that's what you want to do if you can.
Yes, and as mentioned before, children do not begin. Children start gaining children start gaining attention spans at the age of 8 through 10 on average. So if you're dealing with a kid that is younger than the age of 8 years old, they're going to have very short attention spans. Well, yes, thank you, Lily. And go ahead and plushie yourself. Pat, aka Leo, go ahead and come back up here and name a deficit that I have not yet named. Or that has not yet been named.
So Lily actually took the one I was going to say.
Okay.
I don't have one now.
All right. No problem. Go ahead and plushie yourself, please. And Bones, do you happen to do you think you have one? You think so? Okay. I'll call you up here then. Any input is good input.
I was about to say a deficit of a child player would be... Since as like children, obviously, like, still are kind of still developing, I feel that they would lack a certain type of tact and decorum, which I believe would be lack
of etiquette. Yeah.
Yeah, which would kind of make for sometimes could make for a negative experience at the table. That's one of the things that I believe, and I've seen with some 17-year-olds, and obviously it would probably get even worse like the younger they get, you know. So
yes, yeah. To add to that deficit you mentioned, 9 times out of 10, if you're going to have children at your table, it is actually up to you, the game master, to teach them the etiquette.
Yeah.
But yes, that is very good input. Thank you, Bones. Go ahead and plush yourself, please.
Z.
Let's see here. Professor Dragon Song says, so the way I see it, D&D is a great way to teach children about teamwork and a minor amount of problem-solving skills. Yes, that was actually a thing that was mentioned. But yes. Yes, thank you, Professor Dragon. That's actually a pretty good name, by the way. I like that name, Professor Dragon Song. All right. So next we are gonna enter the last segment, or the second to last segment of the children players topic, which is the additional considerations that you should have. First, and by the way, just to preface, this is for tabletops in general. This is not just about D&D. So first additional consideration is choose age-appropriate games. Opt for games designed for their age group or adjust existing games to suit their capabilities. The easiest two to adjust is Dungeons & Dragons and Call of Cthulhu. You could also play some other games that are actually designed for children, such as Honey Heist or Misspent Youth, or a third one I can think of is Tales from the Loop, which takes place in the 80s that never was. Let's see here. The second additional consideration you should have is embrace collaborative storytelling. Let the children shape the narrative, giving them more agency than you would adult players. and ownership and more ownership of the experience. But however, of course, do still establish your authority. If you, because again, as mentioned before, when you are running a game for children, you need to act more as a parent than or a guardian than a game master. Do not act as a friend, as they lack the capacity to understand how not to take advantage of your kindness. Third is focus on fun and learning. Prioritize enjoyment and educational opportunities over winning or competition. So which means, like the plague, avoid PvP. Do not have the children end up fighting against each other in game. And last but not least, lead by example. Model positive behavior, respectful communication, and fair play within the game. Running games for children can be a rewarding experience. Fostering imagination, social skills, and personal growth. By understanding their psychology, adhering to ethical practices, and tailoring your approach accordingly, you can create a safe and enriching environment for young adventurers to explore the world of tabletop gaming. Remember that every child is unique, so be flexible and adaptable to their individual needs and preferences. With that, we're going to enter the Q&A segment of this topic. So if anybody has comments or questions or things to add, those in the Discord, raise your hand. If you got any questions in the chat, feel free to type them out. I'll give you time to do so. Leo has a question. Leo has a tidbit.
Oh, I got a tidbit for you. So my question is, because I've had this happen. So, what would you do in this situation if you have, let's say, a 13-year-old kid who does D&D and the rest of the party is, I would say, about 18 to 20 years old? What would you do in that situation?
So in that case, first, you still need parental consent. That is number one priority. If you're unable to get parental consent, then they are not allowed to be at the table. Secondly, is make sure that you know what content they're usually exposed to in the house. If they are allowed to be exposed to content like horror movies or rated R films, then you can ease up on the content filtering. But however, still approach it as if they were 11.
Okay. Thank you for answering that question. I have no further question for you at this point, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead and pleasure yourself. All right. So it does not look like Professor Dragon or anybody else in the chat has any questions. So we will move on to the next topic, which is trap design. So, unveiling the shadows. Traps those cunning contraptions lurking in the shadows add a thrilling layer of danger and intrigue to any game. But beyond the immediate gotcha moment lies a deeper art to crafting traps that enhance the narrative, challenge players, and enrich the overall experience. So let's delve into the shadowy world of trap design, unearthing its secrets and weaving them into your own game. First of all, what is a trap? We can't really talk about how to design a trap if you don't know what a trap is. A trap is a premeditated mechanism or obstacle designed to harm, impede, or inconvenience someone or something. In games, they often serve as obstacles that block progress, force detours, or create tactical challenges. They could also serve as hazards, which would inflict damage, apply debuffs, or trigger environmental effects.
The Thorn Eater just redeemed Hydrate.
All right, everyone hydrate. And the last thing that a trap could serve in a game is storytelling elements. It could reveal hidden lore. Oh, there's the puppy that went straight to my bed. Hi, puppy. Okay. Storytelling elements, which could reveal hidden lore, triggering reveal hidden lore, trigger plot twists, or setting the tone of the environment. Next, I'm going to call each of you up one at a time, and I want to see if you can list. I want to ask you to try and name one type of trap. There are 4 types of traps. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and call up Bones first. So, Bones, go ahead and name me one type of trap.
Oh, let me think. I'm trying to go through my knowledge of Indiana Jones films. No, I'm joking. So, I'm going to pick one that might not be so obvious. And it might even be a wrong answer, but could it be possible that an actual NPC could be a trap?
Yes, actually. Actually, I don't understand why I didn't put that as a trap. Yes, so social traps. So that's going to be a 5th one. So you did, in fact, add a 5th one to the trap list. Yes.
Because what made me think of this was that I've known some DMs in the past, and one trap in particular they sometimes like to spring on people is a popular one is the succubus barmaid.
Right. So,
where, as you know...
So that... Well, actually, I wouldn't consider that a trap, because... a trap... So, because... that sort of situation is more of an ambush, and an ambush is not a trap. It is just a sneak attack.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to say that's not a trap. So I'm gonna repeal my statement from earlier.
God damn it!
But that was a good guess. That was a very good input.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So go ahead and plush yourself, please. So I'm gonna call up. I guess Lily has a tidbit.
I do, in fact, have a very unique story
Don't give the
about
story.
how you can use the NPC as a trap, but what it was the DM got
Don't give a story.
curious.
Don't give a
Okay.
story. I just want to know
I'm
if
not
you can
trying
name.
to give the story, I'm trying to give the context only. It was the DM got curious what would happen because the players kept attacking the bartender. So they rigged the bartender to explode like a warhead whenever the players attacked him.
So that's not an NPC trap at all. That is actually a different type of trap.
Oh, well, at least I got one. I'm
But-
pushing myself now. Thank you.
But yeah, I still need a name for the trap.
Damn it. Damn it. You got me there. I'm sorry, boss.
All right.
I got the context, but not the name.
All right. So go ahead and plush yourself, please.
Okay.
Leo has a tidbit.
I got you. Don't worry, Holmes. Pitfall traps.
So that is a trap, yes. That is a name of a trap, yes, but what type of trap does that fall under?
It should fall under not exactly ambush, because that's different. I actually don't know exactly. No, it's on the tip of my tongue. But
Okay. So
that's
then,
all I got.
all right. So then I'm going to have to, because you were unable to name the type of trap, but you did actually name a trap that it falls under, I will reveal it. So go ahead and replenish yourself, Pat. So the type of trap that a pitfall falls under is environmental traps. Environmental traps harness the natural world with pitfalls, collapsing bridges, or rolling boulders triggered by unsuspecting footsteps. So there are 3 more trap types left. So we're gonna go ahead and call Bones back up here.
Ooh. Now I'm thinking, like, now I know what kind of types, like, given the example I'm trying to think, because the rolling boulder was my next. And I've already exhausted social traps.
Yeah.
The only other thing I can think of. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I was going to go with like a trap that would kind of there'd be something valuable to kind of coerce the players into the trap, but that would probably fall under environmental.
No,
or...
actually, this falls under a different category.
Oh, really?
This falls under the illusionary traps.
Oh,
So
I was going to call it the bait and switch. Sorry.
So illusionary traps. Deceiving the senses with holograms, phantoms, or false appearances to lure victims into danger.
Nice.
With that, go ahead and plush yourself, please. All right, Lily. I'm calling upon you. Go ahead and see if you can name another. There's 2 types left.
Okay, so we've gone over environmental, we've gone over. I want to say the diplomatic traps.
The what?
The one I want to say the diplomatic type of traps because
That's still
they're-
considered a
it's
social trap,
damn different. Oh, a social trap. Okay, we've been over that.
and
All
that's
right.
not really a trap. That's more of a sneak attack. Sneak attack and
All right.
traps, or sneak attacks and traps, are very different.
I think one of the worst traps I came across was the unwitting trap, where we always ended up getting lured by something, or worse, attacking something that would draw something else.
So that's still an illusionary trap.
That's all I got.
Okay. So go ahead and pleasure yourself, please. Leo, see if you can get one.
So this one might fall under environmental. What about man-made traps?
Man-made? Okay, so be more specific, because that's a little broad.
Well, uh, that I don't know. My brain, for some reason, is still kind of going for like pitfall, like bamboo stuff like that, or kind of like torture. Like you would put somebody over a bamboo stick and watch the bamboo grow real quick and puncture their spine, something like that.
Right. Let's
But I think
let's
it's
avoid
like I
let's
said.
avoid let's avoid that graphic the graphic descriptions any further, please.
Sorry. Uh, man-made, as in maybe torture traps.
No, sorry.
All right.
Torture is torture. Trap is a trap. Okay, Bones. Let's see if you can be our saving grace here.
Oh shit, things are dire when I'm the saving grace. um,
There are two types left.
I'm two types. Oh, let's see. So we got environmental. We've got illusion. I would have said magic, but that would most like
Nope.
that definitely comes under
Nope,
illusion.
that's different. Magical traps is its own thing.
Magical traps? Holy shit! Oh my god!
Illusion is not always magic.
I suppose it could be like, yeah, like kind of like baiting someone in, or like
You can make an illusion with paint. You can make an illusion with sleight of hand.
This is true. Like, so suppose like camouflage traps would be kind of like an illusion to a
Yes.
degree.
But
'Cause-
magical traps,
yeah.
but magical traps is indeed its own breed. Let's see here. Magical traps infused with arcane energies. These traps can teleport, petrify, or unleash blasts of elemental power.
Oh, it makes sense. Oh shit! Like if you step on like a teleportation rune and you put somewhere sort of like completely different in like the environment, or
Yes.
I see.
All right. So, go ahead and pleasure yourself, as I'm going to give you guys the last one, since I'm very surprised you guys have not gotten this one. And that last one is mechanical traps. Utilizing gears, levers, and pressure plates to trigger crushing blades, swinging pendulums, or dart shooting mechanisms. So, with that being said, we'll move on to the next segment, which I like to call Beyond Harm, Goals of Traps. While causing harm is a common trap function, their goals can be more nuanced. So, and there are in fact 4 goals for a trap to have besides causing harm. So besides causing harm, I'm going to ask you guys to see if you can name a goal for a trap. So let's go ahead and we're going to start with Bones again. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going to start with Bones again. So come on up here, Bones.
So, the moment you said that, one thing sprang to mind, and that's either imprisonment or detainment.
Yes, that is actually a goal.
Nice.
But more importantly, so this would more be a so that goal kind of falls under storytelling and atmosphere, because it's a type of trap that can set the tone of a dangerous dungeon, reveal the history of a forgotten tomb, or even foreshadow coming threats.
Nice.
So, go ahead and pleasure yourself as I call up Leo. So, besides causing harm, what is the goal for that a trap can have?
A trap could have? Is that what you said? I'm sorry, it cut out.
What is a goal that a trap could have besides causing harm?
Maybe entrapment for torture?
Stop with the torture, because torture is different. And
what I mean by that is as a holding cell to hold somebody from going anywhere.
And entrapment was already said by Bones.
Okay, then no, I got nothing.
All right. So, Lily.
He took the one I was gonna say.
All right.
Well, yep. Nope. I've got nothing.
All right. Okay.
Brain empty, no thoughts.
Okay. Then let's see if Bones can. Oh, Bones has a tidbit.
Okay, this might be a long shot, but a trap that obviously doesn't harm someone, but will make their presence known, an alarm of sorts.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That is a goal to. It is a, and that actually falls under resource management, because it forces the players to immediately start using up their resources.
Yes.
Forcing players to prioritize resources like healing potions or trap disarming tools.
Nice.
All right, so go ahead and pleasure yourself. I'm going to reveal the other 2. The second goal would be for, or excuse me, the third goal would be for testing skills. Traps can challenge players. Traps can challenge players' dexterity, problem solving, or teamwork to overcome. So in other words, this trap could just be for the sake of a trial. And lastly is exploration and discovery. Hidden traps can reward observant players with valuable loot or secret passages. So perhaps a trap was meant, basically a trap that someone wants you to fall into, not for the sake of harm, but for the sake of helping you. Next, we go into the design segment. Crafting an effective trap involves considering several factors. First is the goal. What do you want the trap to achieve? Harm, challenge, or reveal something? Second is the trigger. How will the trap be activated? Pressure plates, tripwires, specific actions, or even environmental triggers. Third is effect. What happens when the trap is sprung? Damage, debuffs, teleportation, or a combination. Fourth, clues and indicators. How can players potentially detect the trap before it's too late? Subtle visual cues, environmental changes, or even lore hints. And finally, the challenge and fairness. Ensure the trap is challenging but not impossible to overcome, offering opportunities for clever solutions or skill checks. So with this in mind, I want to call each of you up here, and I'm going to ask you to make a trap on the fly. Do not make a story about it. Just give a quick, short answer. So we're going to start with Liliana. Liliana, go ahead, and I'm going to ask you the questions one at a time. Okay, so first question, what is the goal of your trap?
The goal of my trap is to be a challenge.
Okay. Now, what is the trigger of your trap?
You reach for the door handle and realize it's a magical construct.
Okay.
The alarm is sounding.
What's the effect?
It gets one sonic attack when touched in a straight line.
Okay.
And thereafter proceeds to deal thunder damage to everyone within 10 feet of it. It is signaling the rest of the monsters in the dungeon to your presence. You now have to figure out how to stop it or escape before anything else gets there.
Okay.
But whatever you needed was behind that door.
Okay. And then next, clues and indicators.
Clues and indicators. You notice that this door handle happens to be much fancier and is suspiciously lacking an apparent keyhole to anything you've ever seen. There's no item that matches it. However, an observant player who manages to use either a disabled device check or something or any other means to mechanically or magically disable a device can get through it and disable this trap immediately without setting it off.
Okay. Now, the challenge and fairness. How can it be challenging but fair?
One of the easiest ways it can be challenging but fair is that I made sure to implement multiple ways that this trap can be disarmed, noticed, or destroyed, and it has varying consequences or levels of difficulty regarding each. If you are able to notice it first, you're able to inspect it. However, if you investigate it by touching it, you will trigger the trap.
Okay.
However, at the same time, if you are able to magically or physically disable and disarm the trap before you grab it and go to turn the knob or pull the handle, you can also successfully disarm the trap, no consequences whatsoever. The final challenge and consequence is you've set off the trap. Okay, what now? You can A, destroy it, thereby sealing the door and whatever you saw behind it. You now have to find another way around. You can disable it, try open the door and go through, hope that nothing follows you, and try to snatch what you needed on the other side of the door.
Hmm.
Or you can stand your ground, destroy it, and destroy whatever comes in, stroll through the door, and then grab what you need and go.
All right. Cool. Very good. I like this trap. So go ahead and push yourself as I call up Leo. All right, Leo.
Yes.
What is the goal of your trap? And do not say torture.
I'm not gonna say it yet. I wasn't gonna say it. My goal of my trap is to I don't know the word to watch a person's intelligence, I guess is the way to put
To
it.
challenge them.
Yeah, to challenge them, see
Okay.
if they can get through the puzzle.
All right. Okay. Just give me a moment. Next, what is the trigger?
It's a pressure plate.
All right. What is the effect?
The room slowly starts to flood.
Okay. How can it be identified or potentially identified?
There is a potential way to identify it is where the water is coming from, like pipes coming out of the wall or out of the
No.
floor.
No. How can the trap?
And
How can the trigger be identified to potentially
Oh.
avoid it?
there would be a slight difference in the floor compared to how the trap mechanism would look.
All right. And then finally, how is it challenging? How is it challenging but fair?
It's challenging and fair to because at the if you are able to finish the challenge, like you were able to stop the puzzle from happening, at the end of it there is a reward.
Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. So go ahead and plush yourself as I bring up Bones.
So
first,
This
what is your
may-
goal?
my goal would be imprisonment or detainment, and not only of the person, but also keeping the thing that they're trying to get to sealed within the premises.
Okay.
This trap would be vaguely Indiana Jones-esque in nature. There wouldn't be any rolling boulders, but there would be this very long stretching hallway that goes straight on through, and there'll be like the room with the pedestal and the item of choice,
Mhm.
and it would be magical, and so the hallway would be carved with runes that, if triggered, would basically explode the hallway and cause it to crumble, like cave in. Not the main treasure room itself, but just the hallway.
All right.
Um,
What's the trigger?
the trigger would be either like some kind of pressure sensitive like rune below the treasure, where when the treasure is lifted off the pedestal, it the rune itself would trigger, or rather activate,
Okay.
the runes in the hallway.
All right.
And the challenge of it would be is if on a successful perception check, the the party, like, one of the giveaways would be that it's just a straight hallway with nothing in it, which makes it very suspicious.
Okay.
And upon a successful perception check, a party member would be able to see the runes basically like carved into the walls and the ceiling of the hallway.
Mhm.
So it would basically teach the party how to survey their surroundings before acting, before and kind of it's kind of like a mixture of like illusion and magic,
Yeah.
where they'd have to basically, they can't just say, "Oh, that's a long hallway. That's going to be fine." No, they have to kind of think smart. They have to think, "Well, why is it just a hallway? What's the deal here? This is too easy."
Right.
And yeah,
So, okay, I like it. So go ahead and pleasure yourself, please.
yeah.
All right. Next thing. So next segment we're gonna go over is key things to remember. First thing is that variety is key. Don't rely on the same trap type repeatedly. Keep players guessing and on their toes. The moment you start becoming predictable is the moment your game starts to bog down when a situation seems familiar. Next is to think outside the box. Combine different trap types or mechanics for unexpected and creative results. Next is balance. Next thing is balance is crucial. Avoid overly punishing traps that lead to frustration. Allow for counterplay or escape options. Don't make inescapable traps. Unless you want to be the murder hobo game master, then then I guess go for it. But finally is storytelling matters. Integrate traps into the narrative, making them feel like part of the world and not just random obstacles. With these principles in mind, you can craft traps that go beyond simple gotcha moments, becoming integral parts of your game's world, story, and challenges. Unleash your inner trap master and let the games begin. Next, I'm going to go over some bonus tips. These are mostly optional, but they are going to enhance the experience. First thing is to use sound design and visual effects to heighten the impact of the trap activation. Have I, for example, have a soundboard that I use every now and then. Sometimes sometimes I'll go for a little bit of a knock, 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 and a "What you gonna do if I broke into your house?" Or if someone's sneaking, I go just a little bit of. If you're shaking someone's head to snap out of it. Or something falls, or going for a very long fall. Or maybe explosions. Or maybe you're in an arena or a ceremony and you hear the sound of a gong. Or you got seagulls that won't shut up. Seriously, would you shut up? Using soundboards will dramatically enhance your gameplay, especially when it comes to traps. Or even moments of horror. The next bonus tip is consider the trap's disarming options, offering players a sense of agency and problem solving. Next, and then final bonus tip is don't be afraid to experiment. Get creative. The possibilities for trap design are endless. Not nearly endless. Endless. With this, we're going to enter the final segment, which is the Q&A segment. So, if there are any questions or comments or anything to add, speak now. Okay. Does not look like anyone in the Discord has anything. No one in the chat has anything. So, with that being said, I'm going to draw in the final conclusion for this topic. I hope this guide has equipped you with the tools and inspiration to design traps that will leave your players both challenged and exhilarated. Go forth, and may your games be filled with thrilling encounters and cunning contraptions. And that is all for this week's Tabletop RPG 101. Starting next week, we are going to be putting more player-focused topics. If you're part of the Discord, you may vote on the next topic. And speaking of Discord, hopefully this link still works. If not, I'll have to make a new one. Here's the Discord link for those who... Wait. There it is. Okay. So there's the Discord link. If the Discord link is not working, then I'll make a new one. But join the Discord if you wish to be able to vote on the next topic. So one of the topics that's guaranteed to be on the list is main character syndrome. The next two topics I am going to be adding to the list will be tabletop etiquette and player character backstories. So with that being said, I humbly thank all of you for joining us today. We're gonna find someone to raid real quick. Where's my phone? Where did my phone go? Oh, right there. Right, there we go. Okay. Here we go. I think we will. Okay, we're going to actually look for someone who's playing tabletops right now. Oh, never mind. This guy has a follower-only chat. We're not going to rate a follower-only chat. Oh, these guys are playing Wanderhome. It's a fairly new tabletop, I think. All right, so out. We're going to raid these guys. Here's the raid message for those who are subscribed. Oops. And the raid message for those who are not subscribed. Let me copy this real quick. Okay, there we go. Let's start the raid. Tales. All right, there we go. The raid has started. Thank you guys so much for being with us today. As always, I have been your professor, Beth the Exorcist. And we'll see you tomorrow for some liminal horrors. Until next time, everyone, keep flapping those wings. And class dismissed. Bye-bye.